Who wants to kill Captain Ibrahim Traoré? In this video, I will explore the threats to Ibrahim Traoré's leadership, moving beyond the well-documented external pressures from powers like France and the United States, who openly desire regime change. Instead, we'll examine the internal forces actively seeking his removal. The assassination of Thomas Sankara serves as a stark reminder. While foreign powers may benefit from instability, it was a fellow Burkinabe, Blaise Compaore, who ultimately carried out the act. This highlights the critical importance of understanding internal dynamics in Burkina Faso's political landscape. Given the history, it's reasonable to suspect that any threat to Ibrahim Traore originates from within Burkina Faso. Since 2014, the nation has been plagued by profound instability, including one of Africa's most severe internal displacement crises with over 2 million people displaced. Compounding this are a devastating security crisis and a series of military coups that have eroded state institutions. Ibrahim Traore, at 34, ascended to the leadership amidst widespread discontent among younger military officers. Traore's promise to combat terrorism and stabilize Burkina Faso resonated deeply with the population, fueling his widespread popularity. He has since taken concrete steps, including nationalizing 2 gold mines, halting raw gold exports, and establishing a national refinery. His visible engagement with the public, through school and hospital inaugurations, reinforces his connection with everyday Burkinabe. Notably, Traore has also asserted Burkina Faso's economic sovereignty by rejecting financial aid from the International Monetary Fund and World Bank. His administration's strategy heavily relies on the recruitment and deployment of tens of thousands of civilian auxiliaries, the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDPs. This formalization and empowerment of community militias marks a significant shift in the nation's security architecture. However, Traore's anti-imperialist stance has garnered him numerous adversaries. Given the scope of these threats, this brief video will only explore a select few. As of this recording, Ibrahim Traore has been in power for 32 months. During this period, he has reportedly faced 19 serious threats to his life. Despite this, Traore rarely addresses these attacks publicly, choosing instead to focus on Burkina Faso's future and the ongoing fight against terrorism. In this video, I will evaluate 3 key aspects for each suspect: their motive, their capacity, and their connections. After reviewing these factors, I encourage you to share your assessment in the comments regarding who might be the most likely to desire a regime change in Burkina Faso. This video does not constitute an accusation against these individuals, but rather aims to explore their potential motive, capacity, and connections to harm Ibrahim Traore. We will now present our 4 main suspects, in no particular order. Former Burkinabe President Blaise Compaore, currently residing in Abidjan, holds Ivorian citizenship by decree. His history includes the assassination of Thomas Sankara, providing him with a strong motive for opposing Traore. Apollinaire Compaore, often referred to as the boss of bosses, is considered Burkina Faso's wealthiest individual. Since late 2022, coinciding with Ibrahim Traore's ascent to power, Mr. Compaore has maintained a notably low public profile, with few reported activities or statements. Nevertheless, Apollinaire Compaore is the subject of significant controversy stemming from persistent allegations, notably documented by the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, OCCRP, linking him to extensive cigarette smuggling operations throughout West Africa. Furthermore, a 2019 United Nations report connected his company to regional smuggling networks and terrorist organizations. Abdoulaye Barry, an exiled journalist and outspoken critic of the ruling junta, is a clear opponent. The regime has explicitly accused him of sponsoring destabilization plots and has issued a warrant for his arrest on terrorism-related charges. Aziz Diallo, the former mayor of Dori, was directly identified by Mahamadou Sana, Burkina Faso's Secretary of Security. Mr. Diallo represents a connection between local grievances and national-level opposition. Consequently, he possesses strong motives and alleged connections to wider opposition networks. We will now begin with Suspect A. The long-serving former president, ousted in 2014, remains a figure of significant interest due to his history, networks, and current location in exile. Compaore currently resides primarily in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, where he fled after the 2014 uprising. He acquired Ivorian citizenship around 2016. Compaore's 27-year dominance of Burkina politics left a lasting impact. He established the influential Presidential Security Regiment, RSP, an autonomous military unit that served as his personal guard. Notably, former RSP members now hold positions within the current Burkina Faso junta. Motives. After nearly 3 decades in power and subsequently convicted in absentia for Sankara's murder, he likely harbors desires for rehabilitation, return, restoration of influence, or potentially revenge against the forces that led to his downfall and the current regime. The Traoré junta's sharp anti-French and pro-Russian stance represents a rejection of the geopolitical alignments prevalent during much of Compaore's rule, providing further grounds for opposition. Capacity. He likely retains access to significant financial resources accumulated during his long tenure. Connections. Compaore historically commanded an extensive network within Burkina Faso's political and military structures. His regional connections, particularly in Côte d'Ivoire, remain significant. His status makes him a potent symbol. His existence provides a potential rallying point or perceived source of legitimacy for factions within Burkina Faso. The junta's own repeated accusations against Côte d'Ivoire amplify this perception, making Compaore a significant, albeit perhaps passive, element in the opposition landscape. Called the boss of bosses, Apollinaire Compaore stands as one of Burkina Faso's most prominent and wealthiest men. His leadership role in the influential National Council of Burkinabe Employers placed him at a critical interface between the private sector and state authorities. Compaore faces serious allegations of involvement in large-scale illicit trade, primarily concerning cigarette smuggling across West Africa. These allegations position his operations not merely as economic transgressions, but as potential contributors to regional instability. Multiple investigative reports, most notably from the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project (OCCRP), allege that Apollinaire Compaore has overseen a vast cigarette smuggling network for years. This network reportedly spans at least 6 countries, moving billions of cigarettes. The alleged methods involve exploiting porous borders and weak state institutions to avoid taxes, often moving goods through lawless desert regions, controlled by various armed groups and militants in the Sahel. These groups reportedly take a cut in exchange for protection and passage. Motive: primarily economic. Potential threat to vast business interests from junta policies. Taxation, anti-smuggling, nationalization rhetoric. Protection of wealth and influence built over decades. Possible friction due to past associations with Blaise Compaore and Compaore. Capacity: significant personal wealth. Extensive diversified business empire providing economic leverage and networks. Alleged, though denied, past links to illicit networks and smugglers potentially connected to armed elements. No direct evidence was found linking him to specific anti-Traoré coup plots. More likely to act as a financier or enabler of opposition rather than a direct plotter, and likely prioritizes business continuity over high-risk political gambles. Lieutenant Abdoulaye Barry is an exiled military officer, described by the current Burkina government as a deserter residing in Côte d'Ivoire. Abdoulaye Barry is accused of being a key plotter in the alleged April 2025 coup attempt, communicating with terrorist groups. In September 2024, Ahmed Kinda, a former Special Forces commander arrested in Niger, confessed, in a statement aired on state television, that journalist Abdoulaye Barry was a key sponsor of a destabilization plot, alongside former interim President Damiba. Kinda alleged Barry provided substantial funding, initially 10 million CFA, and later increased to 80 million CFA. Most significantly, in April 2025, Barry was placed on a government-published list of 32 individuals actively wanted for criminal association in relation to a terrorist enterprise. Motive: Barry's motive for opposition appears exceptionally high. He is a direct target of the regime, publicly labeled a terrorist sponsor. Capacity: as a prominent journalist and established critic, he possesses influence and a platform to disseminate counter-narratives, albeit constrained. The specific allegation of providing substantial funding for a destabilization plot, if accurate, suggests access to considerable financial resources, or the ability to mobilize them through his network. Connections: Barry is demonstrably connected to other exiled critics and activists. The accusations link him to former military figures, He retains historical connections within Burkinabe media and civil society from his time as an editor. Aziz Diallo is identified as the former mayor of Dori, a significant city located in Burkina Faso's heavily conflict-affected Sahel region. In his capacity as mayor, he appears to have been involved in local governance and promoting dialogue initiatives within the community, engaging with councillors, associations, and traditional leaders. Aziz Diallo has a significant personal conflict with Ibrahim Traore junta. His cousin was among 12 detainees found dead in police cells in Tanwalbougou in May 2020 under suspicion of terrorism. Aziz Diallo, then deputy mayor of Dori, publicly contested the official narrative accusing security forces of systematic execution. Aziz Diallo has been directly targeted by the Traore regime. He went into exile in early 2023 to avoid the government. Subsequently, in September 2024, security forces detained his wife. Furthermore, Diallo was named by the government as part of a group considered hostile to the junta. Motive. Diallo's motives for opposition appear high, driven by multiple factors. Profound personal grievance stemming from the alleged execution of his cousin by security forces, direct targeting by the current regime, forcing him into exile and leading to his wife's detention, and alleged involvement in opposition plots. Capacity. Any direct capacity is constrained by his exile. His influence likely derives from the local and regional networks built during his time as mayor of Dori. Connections. Diallo possesses local networks in the Sahel region. The accusations suggest connections to a broader national opposition network comprising former political figures and journalists. Here is a table that summarizes everything we've learned. Blaise Compaore remains a potent symbol of the ousted era, his threat amplified by his location in Côte d'Ivoire. Abdoulaye Barry and Aziz Diallo emerge as more actively targeted figures, representing vocal civilian and locally rooted opposition, respectively, both directly accused by the regime of involvement in destabilization plots. While Apollinaire Compaore remains a formidable figure in Burkina Faso's economic landscape, embodying the archetype of a politically connected business magnate whose influence has spanned multiple regimes. Tell me in the comments, who do you think wants to kill Ibrahim Traore?